Hold on, restart. Yeah, Film Vault, Film Vault. I am Anderson. That is Logan Moy, and we come to you live on tape from my garage in Logan's apartment. And we're going to be doing the annual gift lovers guide, movie lovers guide, Black Friday episode without the bald one. How are
Remotely
you,
for the first time ever, too.
No, we've done remote. Like we did remote all through COVID.
Oh, this is my first remote podcast. So this is my
Really?
Yeah.
What?
First time doing any podcast remotely.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously? Logan, that's
I've been out of the podcast game ever since I left the Film Vault.
Popping your remote cherry over there. So yeah, we're going to catch up with Logan. Logan and I have been talking back and forth the last few days, last few weeks now, setting this whole thing up. It was originally supposed to take place in Brian's tiny little tile laden kitchen with both you and Avery at the table, which would have been uncomfortable and awesome. I was looking forward. I was literally looking forward to it. I was thinking about it with a great anticipation for the last few weeks. And then Brian let me know that he was sick earlier in the week. So I'm like, all right, we'll do a remote. And then earlier today, we tried to do the Flick Fashion episode about a couple hours ago as we record this. And I saw a visual representation of Brian and how he looked. And he looked very, very, very ill, which I reported on the Flick Fashion episode, which I just wrapped up with Avery, which we did a little TV vault over there. It was good stuff. And
when we watched the TV Vault podcast, by the way.
I know. I need to clone myself or hire out, right?
Well, we could do it remotely.
We could, but that still takes time. Logan, there's only one of me, and I have I think 9 podcasts last I checked, and 3 different projects that I'm trying to get off. I a little hyperbole there, but all right. So since I last did the show with Avery, about a half hour ago, we wrapped up. I was calling to admonish Brian, and even calling his wife, because all I wanted was his 5 picks for today's episode. Right? I needed his top 5. I needed representation. I know how much time and effort he puts into this particular episode, picking great gifts and. He really does. He takes pride in his picks, and I was pissed because I knew he was sick. But I said the very last thing I said is send me your list so at least I can read it on the show. And he says, okay, I will. So I called him. He didn't answer. I called his wife. She rejected my call twice. You can tell when the phone rings 1.5 times and then it goes dead, goes to the voicemail. So I was like, either I should be really pissed or I should be really worried. And it turned out it was the latter, Logan.
Yeah.
She called me right back about 5 minutes later, and she goes, sorry, I was literally checking Brian into a room. So he's being taken care of by professionals, but because of his condition and because it sounds like he's got the real life flu, every precaution needs to be taken. And like I said, he looked very, very, very ill. So he's getting the fluids and everything he needs now, which is good. Not to worry, and it's not my place to be saying these things. I don't want to be speaking out of turn. However, I want the listeners to know why Brian's not here, and at the same time, not to worry because he's being taken care of. So, and I talked to Christy, and she did not seem. You always can tell she, the wife is like the flight attendant in this situation, and she wasn't panicking, and and also I said, well, let your husband know that he did not send his list, which he promised me to do, and he has since sent his list. So he's doing well enough to send his list. So don't sweat it.
That's good. Well, I hope the best for Brian. We're all kind of dropping like flies around here. I just got over COVID. Brian's sick now.
Yeah. Jessica, your wife is sick, right?
Yeah, she's in the other room. I mean, we're on the tail end of COVID.
Jillian doesn't have COVID. She's in the room. It's just dreadfully ill for the last 3 days. I'm gearing up to leave the country for 2 weeks Sunday, and Atticus is also sick. I know. We'll see. I'm drinking some emergency over here, and I eat a lot of spinach. And also, if you're listening to this and you're a part of our Patreon family, and you're also part of the group that watches movies with us, we're all geared up and ready to watch Just Friends tomorrow night as we record this. Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific is when we check in, and Brian comes to my place and we watch it, and he's going to make me sit through Just Friends because the listeners are sadistic people who thought it'd be fun to watch.
But just the dancing scene for an hour and a half on a loop, right?
Actually, you know what? I actually saw the dancing scene earlier this week because I had to test it out in my garage while I was doing other stuff. I threw on Just Friends just to see if there was going to be commercials peppered throughout because it's on Peacock, but they stack them all at the top. But I had to make sure So I just left it run, and boy, was I annoyed, and I had to turn the volume way down. And I did. I saw the dancing scene by myself. I was enraged. So we're not going to be able to do that tonight. I don't see a world where that's going to happen because Brian is actually not even at his house, let alone, I don't think that we're going to get together, nor should he be getting together or doing any energy other than getting himself better right now. So it sucks. The show must go on. So Atticus and I will do something. I'll have Atticus on the couch and we will try and entertain or talk or take questions or something. At least there'll be something. But Brian and I will make up just friends for those of you who are at that level. Sincere apologies, and it sucks. I don't know what to do. There's nothing that can be done other than Atticus and I will sit there and he'll mug it up for the camera probably and be uncomfortable. So there's that. All right. So
that's a better December movie anyway. So save that for the December Patreon watch.
You think so?
It's a Christmas movie, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I think so. I think isn't he flying home for the holidays?
Maybe. I don't pay attention once I tune out of something.
I just remember snow in that movie, so I'm assuming it's a Christmas movie.
I just remember dancing. It's just uncontrollable, unexplained dancing. It's just some of the worst direction I've ever seen in my life, Logan. And I've seen bad direction.
That was probably like someone on the set thinking, "Oh, it'd be funny if we were all just dancing right here." It was probably not in the script at all.
I don't think it was. I don't know if it's the AD a lot of the time is in charge of the extras, but they were so front and center that I would imagine the director was responsible. So I don't know. I'd like to get to the bottom of it though. And it's not even mean because whoever directed that, they know, they see that, and they're like, that's not good. They have to know. Right. All right. What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been up to quite a bit actually. I'm now on the other side of the film industry from going from podcaster talking about film industry. Now I actually work for a movie studio. I work for Sony Pictures now.
You got swallowed from
yep. I'm part of the machine now.
You're part of the machine. You got to take it down from the inside, Logan.
It's pretty great though. I have to walk from the parking lot past all the sound stages every day. Today there was a Jennifer Aniston sighting, so it's always exciting to be on the movie lot.
That is exciting. That's exciting. They still got the giant rainbow over there.
They do. I learned a lot about the rainbow on my new hire tour. It's apparently in Culver City. The city works with major businesses that have a lot of prominence in industries or in the city in general, and they commission art pieces to go with all these businesses. And the rainbow was Sony's art piece. And there's actually a device on the top of the rainbow that emits a frequency that only birds can hear, and they hate it. So that's why they don't sit on the top of the rainbow and poop all over it.
Oh, that's nice. So instead of those little spikes, they just kind of avoid it and don't have to
Yeah, they just annoy the birds.
Yeah, just will annoy them away. They have the same kind of thing to keep teenagers away from 7-Elevens as well. High pitched noise that like adults can't hear because
that's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's a thing. I saw like a TikTok where it was like showing your hearing age, and it would just play these frequencies at different ages, and it was accurate. Like I could only hear the 30-year and older one.
I actually, last time I did that, I still had really good hearing for whatever reason. I would not want to do it now. This is probably about 10 years ago. And that guy, Ron Harris, whose name comes up from time to time, he was the chief engineer over Westwood One, and he did not like me. He was we had like 3 months where we got along out of my 15 years there. 20 years. 20 years. Jeez. He did not like me. And I remember learning about this frequency thing, the testing on the computer. And I called him in. I'm like, hey, because he fancied himself like, he could hear everything. And I'm like, hey, Ron, can you hear this? And I played it, and he's like, no, you're not playing anything. I'm absolutely playing something. And he was very, very upset. It was very satisfying. It was very satisfying.
That would be great.
It was fantastic. What else about that? All right, so the lot, the history of the lot. Like, what were the studios that were there? Because RKO was up the street.
It used to be bigger. They used to own more property in Culver City back when it was Columbia, and then Sony bought Columbia and then renamed it Sony Pictures.
Wasn't it TriStar for a minute?
Yeah, TriStar Columbia. I think it's all the same, right?
Yeah.
MGM.
Yeah, and MGM was there. Yeah.
And then since then, they own the property now. They've actually they sold off a lot of the surrounding property across like the major streets, and so now they just own that big block that the lot's on. And they've acquired a bunch of other companies now. So like studios like Screen Gems is there. There's a VFX house there. Mostly Sony stuff, but Sony Music stuff. But
there's still really, really big things that are shot on that lot. And
oh yeah, mostly TV. I've noticed it's a lot more TV now than films. But every once in a while, there's a film taking over one of the sound stages. But I don't think I can't really name any movies that I've seen shooting there now. Right now, I've seen Barry shooting there right now, which is one of my favorite shows. A lot of Apple TV shows like For All Mankind and the Morning Show films there. Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune have been there forever.
That is where the content is going, right? It's going long form, as we know, and I bitch about quite often. So, yeah, right up the street too is where Loveline Studios was.
Mhm.
They have there's so much history right in there. Lindblade and around that whole area. King Kong was shot back in there. There's like
Yeah.
a tiny little placard, and it's just a parking lot now. It's crazy. And like the cinema bar, which is right there by you. It's a really old divey bar, and I think it's been there since like the
Are you talking about the backstage the backstage bar?
no, the cinema. It's right there in
Oh, okay.
Sokolova. It's where
Cool.
Fatty Arbuckle used to go hang out there.
Oh, wow. Cool. I'm gonna check
And
that
the
out.
story is this, like, and it's probably because of Culver Culver City, which is kind of the original Hollywood, because the studios set up there, and they were making movies in Culver City even before they went to Hollywood. It all goes back to what's his name, Cecil B. DeMille, yeah,
Mm.
out to Culver City. But the 2 a.m. Law, and I've not substantiated this, I've not fact checked this, but I've heard it a number of times. The 2 a.m. cutoff, which is kind of a thing across the nation, most
Mhm.
places, most states make you
Last
stop.
call, right?
Last call, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
last call is usually like 1:30, and then like 2 a.m. everyone has to be out by then. Usually get them out by like 1:30, and like 4 a.m. in New York, and like obviously Vegas doesn't have this, but that all got implemented apparently right there in Culver City, because the studios were getting really upset with starlets and stars and their
Getting
actors
drunk and going back and crashing the sets.
coming in like all hung over and looking like crap in the morning. So they said, "Can we please get these people not to like go out and party so hard?" So you're right there in the thick of it. That's
Yeah.
my favorite scene ever shot, ever made, ever committed to film. Unfortunately, was written by Tarantino, but it was not directed by him. It's the eggplant scene in True Romance. It's my favorite scene ever. It has every single thing. It has comedy. It has fear. It has every single emotion. You feel it in that pantomime scene, right? And that was shot in a soundstage on the Sony lot.
Nice. Yeah, it's pretty historic soundstage. Way before it was Sony, it was Columbia and MGM, and yeah, just tons of history there. In fact, I learned a lot about like the actual location on the tour, and they have the Barbra Streisand soundstage there, which apparently is like a infamous scoring stage. Like every studio uses that scoring stage because they have not been able to recreate the acoustics in that room.
Really?
It was actually a soundstage designed for film. Then I think they were playing music in it one day as they were building it out, and then realized the acoustics in here actually sound great. Let's build it into a recording sound stage, or a scoring stage. And then they've tried to actually like just recreate that exact building spec by spec in other locations, and they just have not been able to get the sound there. So like
Interesting.
every major studio picture with an original score pretty much gets recorded at that Sony soundstage.
So
From Star Wars, Marvel movies,
the
everything.
other studios come into that soundstage.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Because they can't. Apparently, it's the best scoring stage in Hollywood or in LA.
My buddy Hugh, he works over there, and he's been telling me I could get a tour anytime I got to get a tour over there. I got to go do the tour. I mean, everyone does the Universal tour, but can you facilitate a tour?
Yeah, you could just buy tickets for them. We get a employee discount on the tour tickets.
Hell, I didn't know that.
Public can just go to it.
I did not know that. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll nerd out and be a public guy. I've been on a lot a couple times, but I had somewhere that I had to go. I didn't get to kind of see all the history and get like the actual. I want the guided tour.
It's pretty cool. Like you start out in the museum and you get to see props from everything that they've done, from like Breaking Bad to Ghostbusters and everything. Like all the props are there. It's awesome. My favorite thing to go check out on a weekly basis. In fact, I just walked by it today. Is the Breaking Bad RV and the Chrysler car are parked there constantly. Like they just leave it there unless they take it out to a convention or something. And I like to go on my like afternoon walks and walk by. It like comforts me to know that it's there. It's got the RV with the bullet holes in it. Yeah, it's my favorite TV show. And so it just comforts me to just go walk by the RV with the bullet holes in it.
What TV are you watching right now?
I'm actually rewatching Breaking Bad right now because Better Call Saul just wrapped up, and I wanted to keep the story going.
Did it wrap? It's done.
Better Call Saul is done. Yeah,
we tapped out. Jillian decided it was too boring to continue, and I thought
it's so good.
Overlap, and I was liking it just as much as Breaking Bad. That might be a little bit of an overstatement, but it was getting close.
No, I definitely like it as much as Breaking Bad, but for different reasons. To me, it's a completely different show. Breaking Bad's very intense and like, high stakes violence and all that. Whereas Better Call Saul is just like really well written dialogue and just like masterful storytelling where it comes to just character development.
There's a lot of very, very good stuff that's being ignored by me, and it hurts me to hear these things. But I try and do my best with movies, and that's what Flick Fashion's all about, which we already did earlier in the week. Now we're going to talk about people who love movies and the things that they like to have for the holidays or get as gifts. And I think a lot of you will probably use these as getting gifts for yourself and give people an idea. I know a lot of people lean on our lists. A lot of the time, what I do most weeks is I make sure that our lists, whatever the top 5 is, are in the Patreon show notes. But I make sure that the lists are in everyone's show notes. So if you're listening on your app, any app, you can just scroll up. A lot of people don't even know. You just scroll up or down, however you have your phone set up, and there's all sorts of notes per episode of things that the show is about. Avery compiles it for us, and with this particular episode, all of the list, and there'll be links in there for a bunch of different things.
You just went widescreen. Whoa,
it's too wide. I'll leave it.
I like
it looks kind of cool. Yeah,
it's a good. That's like a vlog set right there. You see the whole room.
It might die out. We'll see. I might have to switch over to my. Anyways, we're doing video as well here. Again, we're trying to do that week in, week out, so you can check that out on the YouTube. So, where would you like to go? I did get Brian's list, as I mentioned, so I will be reading his list and I'll be opening his links to see because I have no idea what he picked. It's just a bunch of code essentially. So let's do this. And
in the past, I've when I've done this episode, I think I've only like guessed it on this episode once before, where I actually contributed a list. In the past, I've been the producer when Rich has done it, but in the past, I've kind of gone with like higher end tech items, like really expensive tech items. I definitely have some tech here, but I wanted to make sure this was actually a useful gift guide so that people would reasonably be able to pay for these things for someone else,
right?
And not just drop a couple $100 on themselves.
And you know what? Yeah, you brought up a good point too. Which is you used to produce the show, which I just take it for granted. But for those of you who are new to the program, and there are a number of you who are new, they weren't around when Logan was producing the show. Logan was a mainstay. He was a staple. He was on the show week in, week out. It was
for 9 years,
once a week, and it was for 9 years. My God! And he put a ton of work into the show, and he did everything in post. And then I ended up producing the show for a few years before we brought on Avery, and I did like half the work that Logan did, because I just didn't have the wherewithal to do all of the post. You're a post guy. You're the king of post. You love to do it. Fix it in post.
Yeah. Well, that, and just I like to play with new tech toys, and we got some pretty cool mixers at a certain point that let you isolate each track. And so, yeah, the more control I was given, the more time I would take to actually edit the show.
There's a lot of people, me, who are given all the audio control in the world, and they can't be bothered. I like to do live to tape. That's my thing. I like to, if we fuck up, hey, it's in there. We're not gonna, you know what I mean? I just listened. Oh, you know what? I need later this month. We're going to be re-airing an episode that I just listened to this week to make sure that there was nothing in there that was horrific, which there was not. And it was the episode that we did at Nerdcast at the Nerdcast Studios with Gil, Nerdist, with Gil. With Gil from he was a 9-year-old at the time, and he had his own podcast, and I listened to that whole episode and I fell in love with that kid all over again. What a sweet, cute kid. And I'm trying to track him down. I sent Katie a text just earlier today. She never got back to me, so I need to get
She was trying to buy me some Taylor Swift tickets, so she was busy.
Is that true?
That's actually absolutely true.
But I need to get a hold of, because I'm trying to get a hold of Gil. I'd love to check in with him for his episode. That'd be kind of cool when we're doing the wraps, which is going to be before and after the show.
I just texted her. Let's see if she responds to me.
She ignored me like a real bitch. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. How do I switch I don't like the wide, whatever. I don't care. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into the list. We've chatted enough.
Katie just responded. Oh shit, Anderson texted me.
Yeah.
So she just remembered.
What did you text her just now?
I'm on TFE right now, and we're wondering whatever happened to Gil.
I wonder what happened to Gil. What a sweet kid. I knew he was sweet and nice at the time, but we were, doing some things for entertainment's sake, kind of messing with him a little bit, and listening to it all these years later. He was a 9-year-old kid who he had his own podcast, and he did it until 2018 is when he stopped.
His dad, so Nerdist used to be recorded out of a comic book shop that no longer exists called Meltdown, and his parents own that comic book shop. So because
it's not there anymore,
recorded there, he got a podcast there. No, the comic book shop shut down. It's closed.
But I hope Gil's doing okay. I mean,
I think he left. He left town way before the thing closed. I think I don't think his parents' marriage worked out, and I think he lives with his mom, but I don't think his mom lives in Southern California anymore. These are all hearsay. I haven't gotten the latest on Gil in a long time.
He's in college now, and Katie hasn't talked to him in years.
He might be. What was it? It was probably close to 10 years when we recorded
He's
that
18.
episode.
He should be 18 now. It was
Oh.
9 years ago.
Oh, he's probably
Well, anyways, you're gonna hear this kid, and it's not just it's a bit gimmicky, but he's just a really, really sweet kid. And there's a lot of laughs to be had. So, anyways, look for that in the next week or two.
Yeah, he was well spoken, and then he had strong opinions about the movies he liked.
He did, and he just wasn't. There was nothing douchey or dicky about the kid. And so many kids were showing. He was just so natural, and I'm saying that to him on the episode as it's going. I listened to it a couple days ago, and I was just like, which is what I'm very impressed. I'd be so lucky if Atticus is that cool when he's 9 years old. So
yeah, he doesn't have that like, I want to be a YouTuber or I want to be a podcaster attitude on the podcast on the film vault.
I was like getting mad at myself a few times because I'm like, dude, the kid's so sweet. Why are you like being like, making fun or saying, oh, that's not a good pick. I was shuddering. All right, with anger. All right, let's do our list. Let's talk to good people about. I don't know how you go about it, Logan, but I spend probably 4 to 5 hours on and off every year doing my my research, and it's getting tougher and tougher to find things that I haven't already brought to the program. Oh, look at him. I'm back.
Fixed itself.
What the hell?
What is that? A different camera that? Or is it?
It's my GoPro 7, and I've never had luck with GoPros. They always have a line of their own. They always do their own thing. But anyway, so I do the research, try to find new refreshing things that I would like to have possibly, or I can imagine other movie lovers would like to have. However, with the SEO and the search engine optimization that's happening, like it's harder to search for things. Period. I mean, have you noticed that with the old Google over there?
I mean, I'm young, so I use TikTok to search for everything now. No, I'm just kidding. That's the true thing, though. Like Gen Z uses TikTok as a search engine.
Really?
Yeah.
They just search to see what kids are talking about.
Yeah, or just however we would use Google. Kids are searching for things on TikTok, like how-to advice, things like that.
There's an app, and this is the last thing before we actually get to our list. And you guys who listen closely have heard me talking about it before. It's called Relay, Reelay, and I love this app. And it's I think you would like it, Logan. It's just for movie lovers, people who love movies. And you go on it, you set up a little profile, and any movie you can think of, they have a database in there where they're all on there. And if you want to leave a review for that movie, like a 30-second video review, you can, and you can do like
that's kind of cool.
You can do like in-phone edits and get real creative. Some of their users are really, really creative and entertaining and funny. And if you're looking for like a movie that just came out, like I'm sure Wakanda's on there, and there's probably like it's still very, very early, and there's not a ton of users because it's like kind of beta right now. It's brand new. But you'll find probably 10 to 15 people that are just talking about it. You can just swipe and you hear quickly. I do it when I'm I shouldn't say stuck in traffic, but it's true. And I'm going to get a Film Vault group going over there because I want to see some of our listeners talking about movies and sharing thoughts and ideas, and they have topics and whatnot. So I think I might start posting our topics every single week on there. It's something I'm meant to do, but things are a little bit crazy right now at the Cowan household. So
that could be a good way to do like listener flick sessions because they'll be providing audio for you.
Yeah, but that's more production. We need you to come in and do production. That's what. All right, so let's get to lists. How am I going to do this? Because I have to look at my list and I have to look at you too. So I'll pull my list down over here.
I got it on my iPad.
Smart.
Do you want me to text you each one as I go so you can pull it up while I'm talking about it?
Sure. Okay. And then have you sent me your list?
I did send you the list for Avery to go in and.
All right, cool. Sorry guys, we're a little bit all over the place. We're supposed to all be in person, and this is we're popping. Popping Logan's remote, Jerry.
How do I share things on Amazon?
I don't know. You can just tell me your.
All right.
I don't have to.
If you want to see a picture, let me know, and I'll send it to you. I'll screenshot it.
I can just Google it in real time.
Yeah, for sure.
TikTok it. That'd be cool.
All right, who's starting it?
You go ahead.
All right. Or do you want to bookend it since you have 2 lists to go through?
Yeah, good point. All right, why don't we start with Sick Boys? And I will do that right now. And his number 5, this is Brian's list, and it's really it genuinely makes me sad that he can't be here doing this because I know that he puts in work and he puts in effort and he gets excited to talk about it. And I know I'd be semi-devastated if I had to miss this episode. So it's
I haven't seen Brian in almost a year too. I would have liked to see Brian.
We'll have to do this once he's better, and once we're all back, we'll have to come up with a new excuse to have you come in and do the show with us like we're supposed to. Brian. Okay, well, you kind of might have mailed it in a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. 5 here. He's got the Eno Vati 100 movies scratch off poster, top films of all time bucket list, which is there's dozens and dozens of these. A lot of people have put these together. A bunch of different companies have put these together. They were a novel idea at one time, but now when you do a search for movie lovers, this is one of the very first things that will pop up.
Oh man, you're gonna know about all my list then, pretty much.
Really? No, come on, you guys. What are you doing? Gonna go esoteric with this and like do the deep dive. Like I have where did it go? Oh, it's covered up. I have a movie a poster back here. I have a poster back here in my garage that I look at all the time. Right now, it's covered with a paper bag, but it came from. I have a number of things that came from me searching these lists, and then I fall in love with them, and I go out and get them for myself later on. But I have a painting. It's a lithograph of a painting of Pat Sajak, Edward Scissorhands, Sloth from the Goonies, and Pee Wee all playing. What do you call it?
Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Thank you. Yeah, and it's framed in a nice gold frame in my studio here, and I see it all the time. So you got to. And I wouldn't have found that if I hadn't dug deep. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
yeah, I mean the tricky thing about doing a gift guide for film lovers is that people have different tastes in film, so it's really tough to recommend like something specific, like a piece of memorabilia from Clockwork Orange or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to keep it vague so that it applies to as many people as possible.
For those of you watching the video, you can see it's right above my my toolbox over there, and then they are playing Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune. You like my? I should also break out my. I'm going to show you my favorite skateboard in a second.
I actually have a gift from you on my background right now. That Gallery 1988 book that's right there.
Oh yeah,
it's the cult movie artwork thing. I think you got it for me for Christmas one year.
I kind of remember that. Yes. All right, so that's Brian's. It is a good gift. I'm just being a bit of a snob here because I did a deep dive, and I'm like, oh yes, I saw that. I had to sift through many of those, but yeah, it's like a scratcher, and you scratch off as you see the movie. You scratch it off. You keep track, and you put it on your wall.
And then what's under the scratch?
Like the poster.
Oh, the poster of the movie. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you get like you end up with like a poster with 100 movie posters on it.
Yeah, actually, they're not it looks like they didn't get copyrights for the actual posters, so they're like artistic renderings of like for Star Wars, it's just Darth Vader's head. You know what I mean? And for the old Neo over there with the Matrix, you got the red and the blue pill. But you can see they're actually kind of cool because you can like tell what they probably like. I see a bowling pin. I'm assuming that's a Big Lebowski, even though that movie's about a whole lot more than bowling. You know what I'm saying? All right.
I think it'd be funny if it just had the image and then you had to try to go guess which movie you had to go watch.
That would be kind of cool. I hope I'm doing this.
Make a game out of it.
Hope I'm doing this. Top rated movies. Our poster is filled with films loved by both fans and critics worldwide.
It's just an AFI list.
You should have done a Rotten Tomatoes one, like where it's just all Rotten Tomatoes, like 100%ers. This is $24.99 on the old Amazon, and
I wonder how many movies in the history of Rotten Tomatoes have actually gotten 100%.
A lot, because there's a lot of movies that only have like 7 ratings, right? And then also, I'm sure that Brian did not link through our Amazon link view, our affiliate link. But if you can think to do so, and check the link, and then we'll get a couple pennies as well. But this is not a sponsored. A lot of shows that you might be listening to have similar types of content this time of year. I'll go out and get sponsors, and they're talking to you about things that they're being paid to talk about. That is not this at all. So. One more reason why the film vault is just a cut above, right?
There's definitely a lot of 100% movies. Most of them are probably older than Rotten Tomatoes itself, which means you probably write like few reviews.
I like it when there's a movie that's so beloved and there's always like one guy that like will give it, like Toy Story will have like 1 or 2 people. Nah, not for me.
Balthazar.
All right, what in film school? I'm gonna go get my my favorite skateboard and then.
You get skateboard while we're podcasting?
No, I'm just going to show you the art.
Oh, okay. I love skateboard art.
And go ahead. What's your number 5?
Well, I'm going to call a little audible and rearrange a little bit just to go with the theme of Brian's poster. But I've not so much these days, but back when I was producing the film vault, I was watching a lot of movies, like 2 or 3 a week. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to do that anymore. I'm down to like 1 a week or so, but back when I was watching 2 or 3 movies a week, they all started to blend together after a while. After about a week of seeing it, I can't remember like specific plot points or like things I liked, like barely anything, just because you see so many things that in with the new, out with the old type thing.
I agree with you if it's like 3 movies a day or something, because I was doing that for a while. But if you're watching the right movies, they will, or maybe it's a matter of training your brain to do it.
That's true. Yeah. And then also just like, if you're distracted and looking at your phone a lot, then that can also make it so that the movie doesn't stick very well.
Passive watching, yes.
But I think for someone in that situation, or if you just kind of like to keep track of the movies that you watch and you want to remember what you liked about them and kind of revisit that from time to time, I have the Journals Unlimited Write It Down series guided film journal for movie watchers. And this is like it's a notebook essentially, but it has a lot of like templated pages that say things like you can write if it's original or remake, or if both, and you can kind of compare the two. There's a whole section for that. There's notes to write down your thoughts about it, and then little like fields to write down information about the movie, like the title, the date it came out, things like that. So basically prompts for if you want to review movies, but in a nice little journal package for $25. We lost Anderson's camera.
We did. It's unfortunate too.
Did the battery die?
I don't know, because I have it plugged in. There's a little Band-Aid on it now. It looks like a skateboard, but all right, I'm gonna have to go to the wheel here, and then I'll just switch over my camera.
I can share my screen, so we can pull these up. Here, let me see if I can do this really quick.
There we go. All right, now I'm all up in it. Check this out, buddy.
I know you have your hold on. I got the wrong window open.
Look, my camera's back.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is.
So this is that.
That's it. That's the exact one.
I know. I think it might have been on my list years ago, or Jillian just found it for me, and she bought. That was one of my Christmas gifts, like probably 6-7 years ago.
How far into it are you?
What's that?
How far into it are you?
I'm not great with it, because a lot of the time I'm not in a place where I have a pen to do. I keep almost all my notes on my phone, but every now and again I'll especially since I've moved here and I'm watching so many movies out here. It's nice. I definitely like the pen to paper and the feel, and then I try and transcribe it over to notes that I can read and whatnot. But
search and all that.
What's that?
You used to keep your own journal that you like just out of with regular notebook paper, right?
Yeah, but it was just the names of the movies. I still have that, and I'm getting close to actually
no details.
Just the title of the movie, maybe the year, and how many times I've seen it. And I'm getting close to probably have another 3 years before that book is completely filled with movies. I picture poor Atticus having to throw it away one day, like he's dead, he's gone, I have no use for this.
Doesn't even say what he thought about these movies.
Yeah, he can go through and listen anytime he wants. That's my thing. I talk about that. I don't have to.
Well, that's a nice thing for your child who recently lost his father. If he had to go revisit you, at least he could hear your voice.
That's true. That's gonna be the case for a whole lot of Gen Zers, right? Like, wow, my dad had a podcast.
I actually think that you can actually kind of listen to me grow up on this podcast over the 9 years I was on it. Because when I started, I was just a 22-year-old intern, single, no wife or anything like that. And over the course of those 9 years, I moved into my own apartment. I bought a condo. I got married. I got a dog.
That is true.
It's pretty cool. If you were to ever go back and listen to all like 500 plus episodes of the Film Vault that I was on.
That's the thing with podcasts that have legs that keep going, right? Is like you find that with like the same thing with the After Disaster. Like the three of us have gone through so much stuff, and even with the Film Vault. I mean, there's stuff at the Film Vault before Brian even got diagnosed, and he sounds like a completely different person. Yeah. The problem is most. I think that the average podcast is 8 episodes long. I think that's the life of a average podcast. Sorry, I closed.
Wait, really? Like they give up after eight episodes?
I think, yeah, because there's like 2.5 million of them now, and
I mean that makes sense, yeah, because by law of averages, but still,
yeah,
to claim that is like the average, but yeah,
I think Film Vault's probably at 1,000. Maybe it's already eclipsed it. I don't know, because we don't keep track that way. But anyhow,
definitely. What has it been like 15 years since you guys did the first version of it?
Well, the demo was 2003, and then we started
20 years of Film Vault.
Money 2007 is when we first started getting paid for it. So
cool.
We're 15 years. All right, number 5 for me is a book. It's the only book on the list. Don't worry, but it's called Oscar Metrics book. The Oscar Metrics book. It's the math behind the biggest night in Hollywood, and it costs $22 for the paperback and $35 for the old hardback. What is it? Hardback? Is that what you
hardcover?
Hardcover. Jesus Christ, Calvin.
Hardback works.
You know how like the analytics are weaving their way in like every single like sport you watch and all sorts of things with the nerds getting all crazy with the math.
Yeah.
Apparently, this guy did this with the Oscars in particular, and he did an entire book about it, and it sounds fascinating. And if I was a reader, I would definitely want to read this. It was published originally November 2nd, 2019, by a fella named Ben Zosmer. But for those of you who are really into the Oscars, there's a ton of history in there, and he breaks down the numbers, and he claims to give you a better shot at winning your pool when you do the Oscar pool each year. So very interesting. At the very least, it's probably a very good history book.
Yeah, and it's a good time if you're looking for help with those Oscar picks. We're
Oscar
getting those nominations pretty soon.
Oscar metrics, the math behind the biggest night in Hollywood. I'm really curious to see if like he goes through, because the Oscars are so in line with the social climate, right, and the political climate, and the times of the day. What do you say that? What's the things that are happening? Right? So many movies and awards are like a time capsule, and you can kind of see what was going on. 1963, like where was the country at, and at least where was the left leaning country, part of the country at with Hollywood, the liberal elites. What were they thinking, and what were they trying to peddle our way?
So it's not so much about the money of the movies, but more about tying the release of the movies to its place in history.
Well, that's what I would like to get out of it, but I guess it takes a look from an analytical standpoint as to like what will make a winner. With the numbers,
like what types of movies and stuff.
Yeah, and like how many, how many leads, or how many types of like story. I think that it's just looking for patterns, right? Looking for patterns.
Sounds like a book for Brian, actually.
Oscar metrics is what it's called. Oscar metrics. I know Brian likes tidbits that he can memorize and then spit at you to make it seem like he knows stuff. Silence. Oh, look at this. Number 4 now for Brian, because even though I'm bookending it, I still have to go twice because there's 3 of us here. So this is called the Grogu Waffle Maker. Now Brian's cooking.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, this is the child, or the baby Yoda, and do a little. You can make it's a little green one of these waffle makers. You put on your countertop. We've all seen them. It's cost $23.92 on the old Amazon, and it makes his little cute face in his little pod. So that's cute. Brian thinking outside the box. All right.
Nice. All right.
Very cute. Your kid would love it.
Yeah.
At least 3 or 4 waffles with it before it gets like shoved to the far reaches of the cabinets, and you never see it again.
I give it one time.
One time?
Yeah, because then the second time you remember how much of a pain it was to clean it.
Yeah, that's what exactly.
I gotta just get the frozen Eggos out of the freezer.
I said it just depends on how easy it is to clean. It's exactly what I said. All right, Logan, before you go, let's take a quick breather here. I just need to take a breath and possibly put a spot there. We'll see. All right, and we're back at it. And welcome back.
I didn't have enough time to drink my water.
No, it was
I didn't time that out well at all.
Check out our sponsor, Feels. Feels has been with us pretty much all year long. Logan, Feels.
What's Feels? Tell me about it.
Oh, you don't know Feels?
No.
Weren't you you were with the program when we had Feels, right?
No, I don't think so.
Really? God, you've been gone a long time.
Yeah, it's been what, like 3 years, 4 years now.
Oh, all right. So yeah, Feels is CBD. It's CBD oil, and Brian uses it religiously. We first learned about.
Oh, you got Brian on CBD?
Yeah, he's a CBD taker. He loves to take it. He kind of relies on it, leans on it for sleep. And we both learned about Feels when they came to us as a sponsor years ago. I can't believe that it was after you left, though. And it's high quality CBD. I actually did an onboard call with them, which is I talked to like some of the representatives over there, and they were very, very forthcoming and explained any kind of concerns you have. They can do that for anyone who actually uses Feels. They have a call center which you can call and talk to people over there, which is very rare, especially today. And if you would like to, I use it when I'm stressed out, and which is often, and I just feel like everything's on edge, and I just need to calm down. Avery equated it because Avery's taken some Feels as well, using the Feels, and Avery equates it to like doing a meditation. He has the same feeling as after a meditation, even though he didn't meditate. So it's like if you don't have time to meditate, you can do a little tincture under your tongue, and CBD really, really mellows you out. So start feeling better with Feels. Go ahead.
I was just saying, nice. I was just affirming you.
You're affirming me. Start feeling better today with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/TFV and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's FEALS.com/TFV to become a member and get 50% off automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/TFV.
Cool.
All right.
Knock that.
Where are you? Number 3 for you.
It's for me now. Okay. Are you the type of person that has trouble choosing things to watch when you're scrolling the Netflix Netflix screen, or do you pretty much like go in knowing what you're going to watch when you turn on the TV?
Yeah, I have like yes, you know me. I got stacks of things that I have to get to and watch and that are coming up, and I'm like the mailman.
I envy you.
Yeah, no, I love the idea of like, what do I feel like? You know,
I have trouble committing to something when I am scrolling, because you're just committing like an hour and a half of your time. You want to make sure, especially me, who I don't watch several movies a week for research purposes. So when I sit down to watch a movie, I want to make sure I'm getting my time's worth.
What you could do is listen to the goddamn Film Vault, Logan, and maybe you would have an idea.
That's true. I should check out some film podcasts.
Christ. Have you ever heard of a movie called RRR?
Yes, I've been meaning to watch it, but I have not been able to overcome that runtime.
We would have pushed you over the edge if you listened to the Film Vault, because it's fucking fantastic. All right, anyhow.
No, I've only heard great things about that movie, and I do need to catch it, especially if it gets nominated for an Oscar, which it's trying to.
I really think it should.
Well, this won't help you with your with knowing what to watch, but it'll at least help you make a decision. This is the Bubblegum Stuff Dice TV Decider dice. So it's a pair of dice. One of them has numbers on it, and the other one has directions like up, down, left, right. And what you're supposed to do is, when you're on the streaming service of choice, you roll the dice. It tells you to go down, and then a number to go in either down, right, left, or whatever. And then wherever you settle is the movie you're supposed to watch.
This is like Ouija shit. Like,
yeah,
you keep settling on The Exorcist. You're like, shit, what's happening? Why does it keep taking me to these demonic movies?
Yeah.
I saw a set of dice while doing the research for this, which is like different genres, and it's like people.
Oh yeah, they had that too. Meals to go with it too. Like you can put like pizza or Italian.
You ever seen the sex position one? Very inappropriate. Yeah, very inappropriate. Sorry to take the show there. All right, number what is it? 3 for the old ball.
Oh, sorry, the dice are only $9 though. If it's a good stocking stuffer for the film lover in your life.
And you can use it for other things, I would imagine too, right? There's so many things that you do online. You can do
anything that you're navigating, really.
This is a layup for Bri. $7.95 will get you the 007 James Bond 007 Waddington's numbered playing cards. These are playing cards. That's cards that you play with. They're like, with the ace and the king, and they're playing cards. Why is it not coming out smoothly? Playing cards,
really high quality ones.
Yeah, it looks like they have all the different bonds are on there. It's actually kind of cool now I'm looking at it. Like they got the Spectre Bond on there. They got Gluck. I don't even know what that is because I'm not a Bond guy. Superior quality playing cards. They got Roger Moore, James Bond, Live and Let Die, and Daniel Craig. So if you're a Bond or somebody who loves the old James Bond, $7.95 on Amazon will get you.
That's a good price. When I was during the pandemic, I picked up a lot of different hobbies in the pandemic, but one of them was when I was on Zoom calls like this during work, under the camera, I was practicing cardistry. I was trying to learn cardistry, how to flip cards around in your hands and stuff like that. So I got really into like high quality playing cards. But then that hobby didn't stick and I gave up on it pretty quickly.
Yeah, there's so many hobbies that just do not stick. My neighbor down the street, he has like an entire woodworking shop in his garage. He went out and bought a bunch of woodworking machinery and stuff. He's like, I never learned to do anything. I'm like,
yeah. I got into electric bikes. That's the only one that stuck, and now I have a whole YouTube channel where I review electric bikes. So that would work.
Really into electric bikes. Yeah, I wanted to get one. I'm just not. I know I'll put Atticus on it, and I don't trust myself. It's like,
I got one for you if you want.
Yeah, let's talk because I'm in the market for one.
I have to get rid of some.
Yeah, well, let's talk. Seriously, let's talk. Because we're a 1-car family, and I have to go around town a lot of time on foot. All right, I somehow skipped over a couple of mine, so I'll do a couple of mine here quick. Number 4 is a personalized neon LED home theater sign provided by ADV Pro Handmade on Etsy. Costs you $89.99, but it's LED lit, so it doesn't use a lot of energy. Obviously, they're not using an actual neon, but it looks a lot like a neon little sign there, and you can choose you can choose your color, and you just you select your size. They have different sizes. The smallest one will get you is 12 by 8 inches, and it'll cost you $89.99. And they have the 24 by 16, which is $170. And you put in you put the established year. You put your name, whatever name you'd like your home theater to be, and then what else? Yeah, I think that's it. And then like a little popcorn thing at the top, and it gives a little flair. These guys have everything, not just movie theater, but they have like garage, like a car garage, all sorts of like gym. They have all sorts of different like neon signs. But I went with the movie one, obviously, and it's on Etsy. And what was it called again? It's a personalized neon LED home theater sign by ADV Pro Handmade, which like I said, it's I'm gonna have links to all this stuff. And these aren't clicked. Some of the Amazon ones will be clicked through, for a couple cents here and there for us, but these are not. These are not. A lot of them are Etsy. If I was a better businessman, I would make sure that they're all through our click through and they're all through Amazon through our affiliate. But that's not how my brain works. And then this is another one that is Etsy, and it is Suicide Squad Polka Dot Man Scene Mug. This guy makes all
best character from the movie.
Best character, yeah, one of the best characters of last year. I love that actor too, David Mosh. I love that guy.
Yeah,
and where is it? Where's all the stuff? So yeah, it's David I should know how to say his name. Das Malchion. God, it's a tough one. Remember back in the day when they would have like actors change their names so that people like me could say them?
Yeah. Diego Luna.
Diego Luna. So this is from a fella named Brian Draws Movies. And what he does is he takes pencil to paper. He uses colored pencils, and it looks really, really good and spot on. And he draws it out, and then he puts it on a mug, and he ships them out really, really fast. And they're not it's original art, but then he somehow prints them on there. It's not like he's actually putting the pencil on the mug, but it looks very, very good. And the way that he displays them, not this one in particular, but a lot of them will be so big that you have to have 3 mugs side by side to show the full image. And that's
like a landscape.
Yeah, like a landscape. And that's kind of like if you wanted to go big and get 3 of these suckers and just display them like on a shelf or something, if it's like one of your favorite movies. He does go with primarily very like popular movies. There's a lot of like Ace Ventura and Home Alone and that kind of thing. But he does have some. I would like to have the Polka Dot Man, like in my cupboard at the very least. So check that out. It's on Etsy, and like I said, a link is down there.
And it looks unique to where like it's clear he actually hand drew them, or could he have just used Photoshop to make it?
Are you telling me I can share my screen? Is that
no? I'm just asking. Like, just based on your perspective, like, do you think that they're actually hand drawn, or do you think?
No, they're for sure hand drawn. I want to share my screen. How do I do this?
There's a button right at the center, the bottom of the screen. Share screen.
Invite guest. Share screen.
Next to the disable camera button.
All right, I'm going to start sharing my screen here. Oh, open system preferences. Why you got to be so hard?
It's going to ask you to give permission to it to open your screen.
I would like to.
Is there a little lock button?
Yeah, there is, but I don't use. Oh no. Okay, unlock. Sorry, guys.
It's one of those dumb Mac things. I actually haven't used a Mac in 5 months, which is like the first time I haven't owned a Mac because the last Mac I owned was owned by the company that I used to work for. And then when I left them, I just stuck with a PC.
Well, that's stupid.
No.
Macs are best.
Macs are the easiest to use. I will say I miss the ease of use to like transfer files between all my devices and stuff like that. But I'm a gamer, so having a PC just makes sense.
It's making me do too many things, and this particular site wasn't showing up as one of the permissions that it was asking for. So I'm not going to go. Sir, it's not even an app that we're doing on this restream. So I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I think you were going to have to open up your Mac system preferences and give it permission to this website.
Give what permission? Because it wasn't popping up. I was in there, but like restream was not one of the options. OBS was, and we're not using. Here's my my favorite.
That's cool. I like that.
Alien versus Predator.
Is that Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson is the Predator, and we got that ET is the alien over there. See, it's a little play on words and very inappropriate and fun. Yeah, you like that?
That's cool. What's the wheels? Are the wheels themed too?
I saw them on Shark Tank, and I went out and got them, and they're really, really cool wheels. I don't know if they're still around, but they look square and they go over everything. I have a
Shark Tank's a Sony show.
Look at you with your.
I walked by that soundstage. I just walked by it today.
Shark Wheels. If you're in
I
that.
want to see that set though. I haven't gotten a chance to go inside that sound stage. But on TV, that set looks massive.
Not real tanks in there. I'm sure everything's always depressing when you see it in person because it's not nearly as big as you imagine. All right, what's your number? What's your number 3?
Okay, so this is a two-parter because they kind of go together. But one of them is a book full of cocktail recipes inspired by movies. So if you're having a movie night and you want a cocktail to go with a specific well-known movie, there is, how many is in here? Let me see. 72 greatest cocktails to have featured on film. So these are cocktails that were actually in a movie, and you can pair them with whatever you're watching.
That's pretty cool, especially for the alcoholic who loves movies.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like to enjoy a nice cocktail while you're watching a movie at home? And to go with that, if you're making a whole night out of it, I've got the movie quotes drinking game, and it's a deck of card it's a card based game with dice, and basically you're given movie quotes and you have to guess the movie it's from. Otherwise, you have to take a drink.
I like it. That's a fun time, and it's an evening centered around movies, which I'm all for. So
yeah,
that's good times right there.
Yeah, those are both about $13-15 each, so $30 for that combo pack.
Moving on to, I wish I could see your screen. I really do. Now I got like the
I can
phone.
Share it.
Can you? Because you know how to do it. How would you?
Let's see.
Show off.
What do you want to see? Do you want to see the movie quote game?
Yes, I want to see the movie quote game. That's what I would like to see.
Okay, let's see if I can do this.
Maybe I can.
Oh yeah, there's you.
That's me. That's
your screen.
That's Brian's next pick. Okay, so that's why, because it's not an app that we're doing this through. It's the actual website. So
yeah, and you can't share a separate window from the same browser. But here is a movie quotes drinking game.
Oh, I could have turned it on. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. This is great. I love that we can do this.
Yeah, no editing required.
Dig it.
And then what was the other one? I don't have my Amazon cocktails.
Oops. I'm on a tech show right now.
The movies. This was the cocktail book.
Yeah. That's classy looking book too. Classy book.
Hardcover, so our hardback could make a good coffee table book.
Nice. All right.
How do I stop this now? There
you go. You got to control that. All right. Chrome tab. So I will show you. No, but that's going to show everything. Wait, is it? I don't know how to control it from my end. God damn it.
It's going to show everything at first, and then you just flip over to the tab you want.
I wanted to show Brian's cards. It's not showing up for me though. Select tab. Whatever. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah. Oh wait, polka dot man. There it is. I get to show you this. All right, cool. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. All right, polka dot man. I'm sorry if this is unlistenable to many of you. It's not to me. So there's polka dot man. See what the that's the mug.
Oh, nice.
That's the pencil drawing.
It could be photoshopped.
No, I think he draws them. I'm pretty sure that he. I mean,
I would hope so.
Pretty big balls if his name is Brian draws whatever it is, and he's got the little pencils in there as representation, and it says everywhere, pencil drawings.
Brian draws open Photoshop. No, that looks good.
All right, so Brian's number, Brian Bishy, his number 2 is something else that I have in my house, and it's one of my favorite things. It's Kubrick Archives 2008 544, basically a written version of the LACMA exhibit from a few years ago, which Brian editorializes and tells us about. And it's a beautiful, like I think it's Taschen book. I think Dr. Drew bought it for me years ago, and it's by Allison Castle, and you can get used ones for $70, and new ones only $95, which is shocking because this book, if it's the same, it looks the exact same as mine. I don't know if mine's a bigger version because mine is thick. It's like it takes up half of a coffee table. It's so big. The dimensions of this one is 9.9 by 13. So yeah, I don't know if it's quite as big. And then the one that I got also has a film strip inside of it, an actual film strip, 70 millimeter film strip of Hal, actually, is the one that I got. I think they were random, but it's a beautiful book, hardcover, Stanley Kubrick Archives hardcover.
Oh, I saw that. I almost put it on my list.
October 3rd, 2008 is when it was published. And if you're a Kubrick guy or girl like I am, it's a great thing to have around. I take it down and just take a look at it every now and again. It's a great, beautiful book. So good pick there, Bray Bray.
Yeah.
Moving on to my number 2.
Yeah.
Have you done your number 2? Right?
Oh no, I go number 2 because that was Brian. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Brian, me, you. Okay. So I just realized probably within the past year how easy it is to make popcorn outside the microwave. And I was missing movie theater popcorn during the pandemic, and so I decided to look up how to actually make popcorn on the stovetop as opposed to using the like microwave packet ones. Turns out it's pretty easy and actually damn good. And you just got to melt some butter and get it on the stove and keep it going, and then you're off to the races. I just use a regular kitchen pot to do it, but you could use my number 2 pick, which is the Great Northern Popcorn Original Stainless Steel Stovetop Popcorn Popper. Let me share my screen.
Can you share this? Yes, I want to see this.
So the idea, the key to making stovetop popcorn is you need to keep the corn moving. Otherwise it's going to burn at the bottom of the pot. So this has a little crank wheel that's attached to a little thing that spins at the bottom. You can see right there. So while your popcorn's heating up, you just keep turning that and it keeps the kernels moving so they don't burn.
This is an inspired choice. I really like this and I want to get this thing. This looks, and it probably makes like movie theater taste.
Oh yeah.
Right,
totally. I mean, well, I don't have this. I want to get one for Christmas myself. But when you make popcorn with the stovetop, you pay $5 for like this gallon of seeds, essentially, that lasts months.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you do it right, and it tastes just like the movie theater. And then you just melt like a stick of butter on the stove and dump it in there, and you get as much butter as you want.
It's a 9.5-inch pot with a crank on it, and it's all like pressure. It looks like it's pressure sealed, but I don't think it is. It says little lids at the top.
Yeah.
And this would be a lot of fun to do with like with the kids in the Christmas time. This is a great. It's got a little artwork on the top, like lasered in there. This is a great choice.
This is probably the most personal one for me. Because I would actually want this because like I said, I just recently discovered how easy it is to make your own popcorn.
Great. What's it called? Great Northern Popcorn Original Stainless Steel Stovetop 6.5 quart popcorn popper. $39.95. I'll get it for you on.
It's actually on sale right now, but I think it's always on sale.
Yeah.
And there's other options. Just type in stovetop popcorn popper, and there's so many similar options.
Oh, you got honey going too? I use honey.
I do have honey, don't I?
Yeah.
It's never gotten me anything though.
It's got me a lot of.
I don't think I've ever saved anything thanks to honey.
I've saved a ton using honey for various things. I used to save a lot more. It's a little less lately.
I feel like every time I use it, like there's just no promo code for whatever I'm buying.
Well, then you have very bad luck, my friend. Sorry. All right. My number two is anywhere from $40. And you can spend as much as $7,000 to $10,000 for commissions if you want your own made your own commissioned. And I have before I get any further, I'd like to thank a listener, Kevin Swayza. I hope I'm saying your name right, Kevin. Kevin sent an email to me probably about a week ago. And he said, just in time for the Film Lovers Guide gift guide. And it is called Line by Line Posters. Let me share my screen and show you what I'm talking about here. It's very, very creative and interesting. Don't talk to me and say that it's Photoshop, because I do not believe that this is Photoshop. All right, share. Here we go. These are.
Yeah, that definitely can't be Photoshopped. I can kind of tell what it is.
I don't know why he would have the mummy being the first representation on his homepage.
Brendan Fraser's popular again.
It is true. Maybe that's why. The whale hasn't been released yet, but maybe he's anticipating an upswell and Fraser memorabilia. But as you can see, he's got the Captain America Endgame. He's got the Back to the Future. And if you look closely, for the Back to the Future anyways, and a lot of them, is what he does is he write the entire script out, handwrite it.
Wow.
To make a picture. So he's got the DeLorean the DeLorean on here with the gigawatts. And if you look closely,
cool handwriting too.
Yeah, he's got cool handwriting, and he draws. If you can imagine, he's drawing the image with the text of the script, but it's handwritten, and it's just one of those like conversation starters, like
Yeah.
curiosity piece that you frame and you put on your wall. You can get them as little as $40. If you have a movie in mind and an image in mind, he'll sit down there and do it. He says it takes up to 36 to 40 hours per to do these. He has other ones. Here, let me show you. Let me navigate and show you.
That'd be cool if he was live streaming him making those. I would watch it.
Maybe he would. Maybe he will. He's got Hamilton on there, Boondock Saints. He's got all the number of the characters from the old Harry Potter, David Bowie, and then he's got a little all and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and that's what he wrote every single line to make the image of Jack's face coming through.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool. A good one to have, just because it's within the theme of the show of the movie.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all cool. I mean, I would even like a Harry Potter one. That's how much I like these things.
Why is the Green Ranger one colored?
I don't know. He gets a little creative. Maybe he gets tired of staring at black and white for 40 hours, and he's like, "Yeah, I like that Green Ranger."
That's a cool one, though. Yeah,
they're really cool. And there's only 100 of those apparently. So most of them, there's way more than that. So it's called Line by Line. There's a link. Line by Line is what it's called, and it's super unique. So if you have somebody who loves The Shining, don't think you give them a very inspired gift, to say the least. So, and if you're made of money, you can have them make whatever you like for $7,000 to $10,000. So, thank you, Kevin, for bringing that one to my attention. I like
that's a cool one. I might buy something off that website.
Would have found it on my own, but I didn't, and there it is. All right, I stop sharing that. We get to our number ones. Logan, would you like to do number one, or should I do Brian's number one?
Do Brian's first, because I'm pulling mine up so I can show it when I have it.
All right. I don't know what this is until right now. Number one, Auditor of the Month candle. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once candle. And it is on the A24 website where they do weird stuff. I remember last year, I think I had something from the Lighthouse, or maybe the year before, and it was like, I think the smell of a mermaid or something. But all right, so here we go. It's it's the butt plug. Yeah, it's the butt plug candle. Very inappropriate. I should share
from Everything Everywhere.
Yeah, from every
yes, that's my favorite movie this year.
It is very good. It is. Let me get the
that and Pray. Pray was amazing.
All right, here you go. So it's funny because the title did not get me to believe this. So there's Auditor of the Month, and it's the butt plug.
I'm gonna get that for my wife.
$60 for the butt plug. And you know what? If it doesn't fit, you can melt it down a little bit and make it fit, I guess. So it's functionality is thought of too, is intentional, I would imagine.
That's awesome.
Good choice, Brian. I'm so sad that you're not here, because I'm sure that you would have been delighted to bring that to our attention.
He would have been giggling throughout the entire explanation of it.
Self-serving too, because not many people know this about Brian, but he loves butt play. Loves it. That's what you get for being in the ER when we're supposed to be doing a show. I don't even know how to check in with the guy. I'll send him a text.
He might be sleeping. It's 9 o'clock.
I know.
When you're in the hospital, there's nothing to do, so you just go to bed early.
I will give I'm sure that he's very active on Twitter. All I have to do is check his Twitter feed.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know how to get a hold of him except for like 90 different ways. I just don't want to be bugging him. And you're right. Like if he's 9 p.m. he's trying to. All right. So that's Brian's number one. What's your number one?
All right. So this is my most expensive one at $110. But I think it's really cool if you love having like a cool home theater experience. Are you familiar with you've got to be familiar with the concept of bias lighting, right?
Bias lighting.
So for the listeners that don't know, when you're watching a movie in your home, you don't want lights on the same side of the TV screen as you, because it causes reflections in the TV screen when you're watching. The optimal lighting for a movie watching experience is to have lighting behind the screen, like kind of illuminating your
I got a little LED strip. It doesn't go with it, or another hack or trick though that I use to cut down that bias lighting is you just angle the TV, you put it up a little higher on the wall, and you angle it down a little.
I just meant because you still want lighting in your room, like so you're not like your eyes aren't straining and stuff.
If you angle the TV down though, it's not going to get the lights that are behind.
Oh yeah,
reflection.
I still like having bias lighting, like just having some back lighting behind my TV. I think it just makes it easier on the eyes in general. But and like you said, you can get like a cheap little $10 or $15 LED strip that plugs right into the USB port that's on the TV. That's what
Yeah,
I do
I love
to
it.
save some money. But if you want to like really get to the next level of your bias lighting, you should
Mhm.
check out the Govee and Visual DreamView T1. I'm going to share my screen.
Share this shit.
And what it is it's bias lighting with a camera attachment on the top of your TV screen. So what it does is it uses that camera to read the colors that are on the current image of the screen, and then it matches the color in the bias lighting. So it almost gives your screen or your TV the feeling that it's like popping off the screen.
I've seen these before, but they were built into the TV. I've never seen aftermarket ones you can add on to your existing TV. I've only seen
Yeah.
the ones that they were selling for a while on really, really high-end TVs a few years ago. And interesting.
And
Have you ever tried something like this?
I've seen it in a demo. I've never done it in my own home, but it's really cool.
I
And
used to think when I first saw it, I was like, fuck that. That looks so like it would totally be distracting. But I have, the little cheapo one behind my TV. It's not distracting at all. It doesn't go with anything. It just kind of, randomly fades to different colors. And I love it. So if it actually was going with the TV, with what you're watching, oh, that's
yeah,
really good.
it's got to be really good with video games too, I imagine.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
seeing
yeah, yeah.
explosions and then just colors flying all over the room. There's there's a Philips Hue version of this that's way more expensive, and I don't think it's worth it because you have to have like the standalone $120 device in addition to the lights that go with it.
Just more things that could, malfunction or break down. I don't like, more the more things you have to
Exactly.
do to
And I
something.
don't love that you have to have a camera mounted to the top of your screen, but I think it's a good solution to be able to actually read it without having to like run your HDMI cable through another device that then goes to your TV, throws off your universal remote and all that stuff. I think this is a great solution and probably the most cost effective to be able to get this type of entertainment lighting.
You know what? My favorite thing, Logan, in all of this is Restream's capabilities and how we can share screens. And this is, I think that this is something that might have to stay with even when we're doing it in person because we stream all the shows to YouTube
Oh yeah, so you guys can all have your own controls essentially.
and yeah, if we could have our own controls and use our own cameras and yeah, I just wonder how it's going to work with audio because I don't want to be going. Well, we'll see, we'll see.
We all got headphones, so
And then yeah, we'd still be yeah, yeah. Oh, this could be like the future of the film vault. We could be seeing it right now. Like this is what it's going to be, and then we could share our screens when we're talking about whatever movies that. Oh, this is good stuff. I'm
yeah.
excited. All right. Speaking of good stuff, this is very, very self-serving. However, I am at the center of this. My number one pick, which I told myself I was going to have as my number 5. But then the longer I spent with it, the more I realized that if I stumbled across this, I would have to make it my number 1, which is no surprise since I am kind of one of the main creators of it. So, years ago, my buddy Paul Harper and I were sitting around, and I was just talking about how Stanley Kubrick, who's getting a lot of airtime on this episode, I understand that, and I'm fine with that because he deserves it. But I was talking about how it's crazy that Kubrick's been dead for, he died in '99, yet he's still so present. Like we still see him, and like you can't have the TV on most channels or almost anything. If you're watching like a live TV for I'd say an hour, you're going to see something that's obviously influenced, Kubrick influenced. A lot of times there's subtle stuff that Kubrick still has his fingerprints on so much media out there that we consume every day. And I simply said, I said Kubrick is everywhere. And Paul said that would be a really cool shirt, and that was years ago. Well, this year, probably around 4, 5, 6 months ago, I got in touch with my friend Ludwig von Bacon, who you probably remember from your time on the Film Vault.
Yeah.
He's an artist who's been doing renditions and fun things for us for quite some time. He earlier this year he made he's a very talented artist. You can see all the stuff at lvbart.com, lvbart.com. You've heard us talking about him quite a bit. He's done a lot of listener art. He made a drawing of Atticus as a Ghostbuster, which Atticus is absolutely obsessed with. And it was in reference to something I came up on the show where it just said to the shit box. So I had him do a clean version as well, so that I'm going to make a shirt out of that as well. But anyways, he and I got to chatting and got back and forth on this design of this shirt that I wanted to make or design. It can go on anything called it's just Kubrick is everything. And let me pull it up to show you real quick. And where is it? Oh wait, that's not it. Son of a bitch. I'm having a really hard time navigating. Sorry guys. Oh, there it is. Yes. I have it up on T Republic. I actually just created it on T Republic today, just to make it available so this could officially be a pick. Otherwise, I'd be like, having a pick that's not actually a product. So here it is. Share there it is. Can you see it yet?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Kubrick is everywhere, and it's got his eyes are like staring down on a cityscape, and you can see there's like, you can't really see it on this screen here, but there's like little like bolts coming off of like the towers of like the New York cityscape. Like he's still controlling all the media that's occurring, and those are actually inspired by his actual eyes. And they have some kind of sale going on for the next 3 days, I guess. I have no control over T Public. I've never used it before, but you put up your print, and they have versions of this everywhere. We use the Clockwork Orange font, and you can get pretty much any color shirt you like. And I guess it's $14. I bought a couple of them, about one for myself and one for my buddy Paul Harper, because he's the one who bled the idea to me. But there it is. Kubrick is everywhere, because Kubrick continues to be everywhere, especially in my world, as you can see. But that is my number one. And I think I get maybe 50 cents per shirt. So this is the most I will make with a sponsored gig, but I'm not doing this for profit, because it's just not really a moneymaker. But I like the idea of people wearing this shirt, because Kubrick is everywhere.
Yeah, and it's cool that they offer so many different color options too, and female fits.
T Republic, yeah, I think they have they have kids stuff, they have like mugs. I mean, anything that you want this image on, you can get it on it. And it's the very intense looking Kubrick, as though he's like lording over the world, which we had a softer Kubrick as well, but I thought this was more apt for the messaging. And it was really fun just working on a project with an artist, because he's a great artist and I can't do any of this stuff, and we went back and forth, and the collaboration was it was a fun exercise earlier this year. So there it is. Kubrick is everywhere. It's reality.
Nice. I like it. Joe in the chat says you get about $4 from a T Public deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, 50 cents after Brian takes his cut, right?
Brian gets shit. Oh, you know what? I was talking to Ludwig earlier today, and maybe he did say $4. I don't know. I didn't get to even do the pricing, and like right now they're having it's $14, and there's like a countdown of for the next 3 days, I guess. As you hear this, it'll be. But if I can repost it so it's still that cheap, and keep reposting it, I don't. But I had no control over price.
Oh, is it like a limited availability, like the other company we used?
I don't know. Teespring? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was told not to use Teespring because I guess a lot of fraud goes on over there. So I just wanted this. We had a merch guy, he was doing merch for us, and it was a sweetheart deal. And like, he was a big listener to the show, and he did like a bunch of band merch and stuff. But he is completely inundated, and I just found out earlier this week that he is not capable of doing it, because he's on the floor doing all of his own production these days, which sucks. Wow. I feel bad for him, but I'm like, all right, I won't bother you with my little tiny projects. But for a while, he's doing really good work for us. But now I'm with the big one, T Republic. So $4 ain't bad. Who said that?
Pretty good. Joe Spazzo. I don't know if he works for them, because he knows a lot about them.
I'm sure anyone. I'm just giving a nice little plug for T Public. It was one of the easier ones I've ever done, because I've done stuff with the ink one. What is the octopus one? I've done with my old t-shirt guy, new t-shirt guy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into like making products like this. And this T Public was the easiest. I kind of liked that I didn't have to set the price. Like, I'm not like looking like I'm like a money hungry guy by setting the wrong price that's too high or too low or whatever. So
yeah.
It was really easy to just upload the artwork, and then they gave me all the options of turning everything on, and I did. Everything's on. So you can
nice.
Yeah. Boom. All right. And he also rans there, buddy.
I did. The only other item I did put down was when I was first starting the list, I didn't really know what direction I was going to take with it. So I put down a digital camera in case you want to make your own movies. Just like a good starter camera, which is the Sony ZV-1. It's like a $700 camera that does 4K at 30 frames per second. Has a nice little built-in lens that's good for everything from vlogging to taking street photography. So if you're looking into making your own short films or YouTube videos or something, that was a camera I had on there. But that's really the only other also-ran I had.
I have a couple friends from years past, and I would like to just make my list. Like I believe in these products very highly, especially Tim Judd's Old Cool Now. He's the guy that makes the lamps out of the projectors. Oldcoolnow.com.
Did he make your groupers lamp behind you too?
He did. He made the Gruber's lamp behind me. That was like, a personalized gift that he made me as a congratulations to the movie getting done. So he does really, really creative, good work. My wife's actually friendly with his son now on online, talking about Pyrex and vintage glassware and whatnot. So yeah, Tim's brought a lot to our family, and Old Cool Now is just a really cool site. And the way it goes, the story is, and this is the real story. Old Cool Now, one of his projector lamps was actually on my list one year, and he was a listener. He just happened to be a listener because he was doing it through, I don't even remember, it might have been Etsy back then, and then he contacted me directly. He's like, hey, the lamps that I make were on your list, thanks so much, I'd like to send you and Brian one. And I said, what the fuck did Brian do? And then and I've met him a number of times since. And so oldcoolnow.com, I found him organically, and he's since become a friend. Also Movie Palettes, that was on my list last year. They also reached out and said that they would like to do some business with us, which was nice. And they sent me a free one, and I got one for Avery as well. But Movie Palettes is that, if you recall, is that really cool stretch canvas, and it shows line by line each scene color palette. So you can look at a movie almost as a snapshot. You just look at, and it's on I have Finding Nemo right as you walk in my door. It's a very modern looking art piece, but it's actually the entire movie frame by frame, a color scheme, if you can imagine that. It looks like something out of 2001. It's really cool. Moviepalettes.com. And also Groupers is now available on moviepalettes.com, which is super cool. And what else? And then yeah, Ludwig von Bacon, our friend Ludwig von Bacon, he does a lot of cool work, and he has his own store. So go to lvbart.com for some original movie creepy, cute and creepy is what his branding is.
I got one more also around, actually, and I think I may have brought it up on a episode years ago. It was probably one of my favorite thing, like kind of hidden gems I found on the internet. But there's this website called, you have to go through this other store, but the store is called Slightly Wrong within the MySoti, and these are t-shirts this guy makes, a lot of band ones, but also movies and television too. And they all look like, standard promotional things, but something is always slightly wrong with each one. Like with the Daft Punk one, it says Daft Funk. The Sixth Sense says, first of all, Sixth Sense is spelt wrong, but it also says I smell dead people. So like just slightly wrong to annoy somebody that would really notice.
Yeah. That's like my shirt that I got a few of those shirts where they're mashups, where it's like Danzig and Werner Herzog, and it says Herzog, but it's in the Danzig font with the skull. It's like, it's not right. It's something off about it. This guy's either genius because he's avoiding copyright infringement, or maybe he's not. I don't know.
I like the troll aspect of it. Like you could really annoy somebody.
One? What is the Poltergeist one?
An adventure 65 years in the making.
What is one? Most people will never ever notice.
Here's John, The Shining.
Here's John.
Like they're not even that clever. It's just like would annoy people. Halloween.
I like to hear. Yeah, I want to see the Poltergeist one. And then they got Halloween up there with Freddy. Oh, it's Poltergeist.
Poltergeist. They are now here.
They are now here. I can picture people getting in fights at like house parties, like drunk, like this shirt's fucking wrong.
I feel like this guy hasn't updated this website in a while. He probably just sells them, and some other company makes the shirts. But
it's funny. I do like it. It's funny.
Better call Paul.
Better call Paul. I hated this at first. I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, what is hers? Did it say him?
Him.
Yeah. I hate this so much, but I love it. I really like it.
I wish I knew how to exit you
from Brokeback Mountain. This is an inspired. This is a good choice. You should have had this on your list. I love these.
I think I had it on my list before. That's why I didn't bring it. But it was Blink-182 with Green Day on the cover.
Why is it so funny? I don't understand why this is so funny.
I gotta support this guy because I keep coming to this website. I've never bought a shirt, but I totally got to buy a shirt.
You're supporting him right now. I think some people are gonna get this. Get it for somebody who really loves like Better Call Saul. I mean, Breaking Bad, or like Terminator. I will return. Yeah, that's the move. You get it for somebody.
Judge Manday.
Love something too much, and Terminator 2 Judge Manday will upset them greatly. All right.
Yeah, this is a good site. So yeah, just type in Slightly Wrong t-shirts on Google. That's how I just found it. Let's see. Slightly Wrong shirts.
Yeah, send me your links,
there it is,
Logan, if you haven't already, and I will I'll clean them up and put them on because people rely on our list.
Yeah, I definitely sent you the Amazon link, but I'll send you that store one too.
Well, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you hopping on and
yeah, this is fun. I didn't expect this to go as long as it did.
Yeah, it was look at that robust episode, an hour and 20. So, really hope Ryan is doing okay. My computer, my camera, just come on, camera.
You got a loose cable or something.
Could be. So yeah, best of Brian. I would imagine that he's getting the rest that he needs right now. So I'll update you guys or check his Twitter. I'm sure he's very active on there, like I said. And I don't know, Logan, you got any plugs or anything? You want to plug your YouTube channel?
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Logan Moy. I'm already going to change that at some point, but right now it's just my name, Logan Moy. But that's where I review e-bikes. That's pretty much all videos about e-bikes. I'm going to expand into electric skateboards and scooters at some point, but right now only e-bike companies are sending me free stuff. So that's who gets coverage on my channel.
Like I said, that's how a lot of these things work. Not this particular episode, even though my number one was my own product.
And shout out to everybody who's in chat. We haven't been talking with you, but it's nice to see everybody. Nice to see the listeners.
Yeah, I'm going to start. I think, like I've been saying, I've been threatening to do this for a while. Anyone who's at that $10 level on Patreon, we're going to start just streaming live as we do the show, and you'll see all the wires exposed, and be yelling at Brian in between, and all that fun stuff. But I thought we'd just do it tonight for the sake of the live feed, because we're doing it. You know what happens is when I go to another page and I'm not on this tab, it shuts down my camera.
Do you have something else open trying to use your camera?
I don't think so.
Like OBS or something?
Maybe. Who knows? I don't think so. All right. Thank you very much, Logan. Thanks for everybody for listening.
Hopefully see you on the Christmas episode, right? Hopefully soon.
Yeah. We'll be doing that in less than a month. So until next time, we do it for Van Gogh.
Cool. He made it.
Yeah. What an ugly end to the show. I got to get better at. I got to find a better way to play those things. I have it all coming through my USB pod. So fader. So if I can't fade music in and out smoothly with this system the way that I have it.
It's not going through your mixer?
It's going through my mixer, but so are you. So if I were to fade it out, and so am I. So well, actually, I'm not. I can fade you and put up. But yeah, I thought about doing it through my phone because it has its own fader for the phone, and then another one for Bluetooth. But it's too many things. So, anyways, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you very much, everyone who's watching live. That was fun. And
yeah, good to see everybody.
Especially for this episode. This is great. So Logan, thank you for tuning me on to a restream. This might be something we invest in. And
yeah, I hadn't actually used it myself other than to just simulcast when I was doing video game streams. I was using this just to kind of get it out in multiple locations. But it's cool, this restream studio.
I love how user friendly it is and easy it is to share screens and whatnot. Once you get the hang of it, there's a bit of a learning curve, but not crazy. So
yeah, and as a guest, it was really easy to just jump on using the link that you sent me. Everything was already set up, and yeah, so super easy.
Give us all your info and download this, and this is
I could see chat up on my screen too. Like I have the same chat window that you can see, so I can see.
I don't have the chat though.
You don't have it on the right side of your screen right now?
I don't. No, I don't. Maybe because I didn't have that. I have graphics, and then there's captions, and now here's the chat. I didn't see the chat until just now. Son of a bitch.
So that's cool. As a guest, I can see the chat too.
Oh, and everyone's being nice. Look at that. Oh, there's Joe saying you get about $4. All right, cool. Yeah. Now I know how to use this thing way better. So yeah, if I start using this on a regular basis, I might be able to just say goodbye to OBS because OBS is cool, but I think I might like this more. Yeah,
and I think it'll just free you and Brian up to be able to record more flexibly too if you can't get together in the same room.
What's wrong, CB? I didn't say hello to you. Come on, CB. Hi, come on, Anderson. He says, all right. I have to go drink. And
same
more work.
And go watch an episode of Breaking Bad.
Good night, buddy. Thank you very much for doing this, Logan.
No problem.
I'll see you. Hopefully, if all goes as planned, I'll see you in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, sounds good. Tell everyone I said hi.
All right, bye, everybody.
Have a good one.